So this is my first meal of the day. So I did wake up and have a protein shake before I left the house. And so I'm trying to get a little bit better at just falling back in love with the things that got me to this point. So it's funny because I was watching an old video of mine where when I was working at FedEx and I was meal prepping. So every stop I would just talk about what I'm eating and things. And it's interesting because you forget that you do like certain things. Like you forget, I completely forgot until I watched that video that I actually did this. So it's kind of interesting. So training is very interesting right now. My biggest goal right now is to just fall back in love with the process. I just did some deadlifts and got on a stair stepper, and then when I get off of work, I'll go and just do a 5K at the gym. But just getting my mind back into loving being into fitness and just working out. And it's just something that I want to do, is just fall back in love and just fall back in love with eating healthy. I've stopped drinking. I'm not going to say that I'm done forever with drinking, but for the most part, I just haven't drank in about a month, and I felt pretty good. I feel like every time I start drinking, I kind of get into a different headspace, and it just kind of takes away the progress that I've been making. So my goal is just to be in a better headspace. You know, that's just what I want to do.
I just wanna have fun. Come and pick me up, meet me at the spot. Up all night till the sunrise. Pop back cool, get ready for the ride. Gonna feel good. Gonna feel good. Holy moly, guacamole in my pockets. What a blessing. Got it on me. I got options, real stepper. Check the shoes, get it poppin'. Eating good, feeling good. Where my hopping John at? Put it on a plate with some lemonade. That's the way we did it in the old days. Back then, mama said, get up, walk on play. But you better not come home like this. We was young, racing. Carefree was the best time. Fast forward, daydreaming about the next time. When it's gonna happen again, cause I just wanna have fun. Come and pick me up, meet me at the spot. Up all night till the sunrise. Pop back cool, get ready for the ride. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good? How you feel? Turn it up a notch, pop up clean room. Everyday celebration, take a trip vacation. You deserve a day, you deserve a day off. Working for too long, gotta kick back. Turn my cell phone off, wait till I get back. Ooh, yeah, this that. Living my life with no regrets. So I title, link up, pull up on me. We did chillin', at the spot. What time? Anytime, link up, pull up on me. We did coolin', the chill spot. What time? Party time. I just wanna have fun. Come and pick me up, meet me at the spot. Up all night till the sunrise. Pop back cool, get ready for the ride. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good?
Heading into the gym today, and this week has been a very interesting week because I've been coming off of, I'll either have a really good workout week, and then I'll have like a terrible workout week. I can't seem to string two really solid workout weeks together. For me, I think that I'm lacking the love of the game, you know. I was listening to a Nick Beer podcast, and him and another gentleman, and they were talking about when you're going for a specific goal, or when you're going for this just a goal period, especially running, I'll take it back to when I first started running, when I first started getting into fitness, when I first started to lose weight. For me, I always go back to the one story of, and the one story of me just getting on a treadmill and seeing if I can run a mile, a 10-minute mile. That was the biggest thing for me. I was like, man, I wonder if I can run a mile at a 10-minute pace. And then I remember thinking to myself, if my family needs me, like if I'm on one side of the road, or if I'm a mile away and my family needs me, can I get there in 10 minutes? And I remember getting on the treadmill and just running, just taking off, running, and trying to get a 10-minute mile. And in school, at the time when I was in high school, like that was like a big thing. It's like, can you run a 10-minute mile? Can you whatever. I don't know where it came from, but it was just something that has always kind of lingered in my mind at some point about just running a mile. And I remember from that day, I remember thinking, like, man, like, if I just keep going, like, what can I do? And I remember it was like New Year's, I think it was like New Year's Eve 2018. And or it was like the day before New Year's. I don't remember the exact day, but it was somewhere between like December 25th and the New Year. And I remember like looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, like, man, I gotta make a change. I gotta make a difference in what I'm doing or how I'm feeling right now. So I just ran a 5K, and I just took off running. Like, I just went for it, and I was spent. Like, I was so tired at the end of it, but I was so proud of myself for just going for it and just trying something new and just going for a run. And since then, I've been on this journey of just trying to get better, trying to be a better runner, trying to be a better, whatever. And I noticed that running had so many effects that I had on myself, that I took over into my business, took over into my marriage, took it over to, how I operated on a daily basis. And I just never stopped. When you're losing weight, or when you have this like kind of body dysmorphia about yourself, when you're a bigger person and then you lose weight, you always kind of look at yourself as the bigger weight. I'll give you an example of like when I'm looking back on my pictures, because I've been working on trying to create a documentary about me doing my Ironman 70.3. And one thing that is always funny to me is when I go back on my pictures and I look at when I first started getting into running and when I first started losing weight, and I was so slim. I got down to the point where I was very fit, very slim. And it's interesting because when I was there, I never felt it. I always felt like I was the bigger person. Like, I would get compliments from people when people would tell me like, oh man, you're doing so good, but I never felt it. It's interesting to me to go back to see why I got into running, why I got into, fitness in the first place, and finding that love again. For me, being 184, fit and clothes, for me it was just the fact that it was just something that I never done before in my adult life, and it felt good. But if I'm being honest, I didn't necessarily love the way I looked, and I just love having a fuller face. I love being able to lift and things. Like, there was things that I couldn't do when I was 184 that I feel I can do better now. Trying to carnivore diet was so good because I found out the foods that I actually liked, the foods that I responded well to. But adding carbs back was a big change in how I felt in even doing my workouts. Every day that I'm fit, I'm winning, because I was going in an opposite direction of health. In 2015, 2016, I was the most unhealthy person I knew, and I had to make that change to get better and to, like I said, buy back that time with my son. So now it's all about sharing that fitness with my son. Mondays we go walk. Mondays we go to the, we'll either go to the Y. My wife, she does classes and teaches classes at the Y, and we'll go to the Y, and he'll walk the track or get on the bike, and I'll do my workout. But now it's about sharing those lessons of fitness and actually being fit, but not having that pressure that I put on myself of fitness, because it's something that I love. It's something that I love to do, and something that changed my life in a better way. So for me, it's just finding that love back. I used to love being in the gym for 2 hours, and it would be bliss. I'm just working out and just doing it. Now I'm worried about, once I'm done, was the quality of work. Who's going to look at the quality of work and be like, man, you didn't do nothing? Or when I post on Strava, it's like, who's going to look at it and judge me? Or when I post my run, it's like, literally lately when I post and I make a caption to my post, it's just a run, just a bike, just a lift. I'm taking the bite out of it. And even if I do a hard workout, just a hard workout, I have to mentally be there. I have to mentally be in the gym. I have to mentally work on building my fitness back up. And will there be times where I have to put 100% focus and put that pressure on myself because I'm going for a goal? Of course. When I was doing my Ironman 70.3, I didn't have no days off. Every workout, I was working with my coach and friend, Kyle, and all we talked about is executing. Workouts was workouts. We were dialed in. I was listening to him. I was listening to my body. I was making sure that, I ate right and did all of the things. But you gotta come out of that sometimes. You gotta, that's for that season. If you're not in that season, you can't put that pressure. It doesn't, there's a such thing as being at peak performance. And I think for me, there's times where you gotta come back out of that peak performance mindset and fall back in love with the process. And that doesn't mean that, you don't treat every day like it's important. You get up and you do the work. You gotta do the work every single day. But mentally, you can't put so much pressure on yourself that you lose love for what you're actually doing. And I think for me, that's what's been happening. I'm just losing the love for it, and I'm putting so much pressure on myself that I'm psyching myself out every time I go to the gym. Every time I go to do a run, I'm literally sitting in the car and just buying time to when I think that I feel like I'm ready to go. So my goal is just to fall back in love with the process, fall in love with running again, falling in love with lifting again, and continue on building 3P, continue on building the company, continue to talk about what I'm going through, because I know I'm not the only person that's going through this. I know I'm not the only person that got to a point where they were the fittest they ever were, but didn't feel like it, or didn't get a chance to appreciate it. So it's an ongoing journey that I'm on, and I'm loving. I'm loving this. Even the downs, I'm loving it. The burnout sessions and the times that you're questioning what you're doing it for. I mean, that's just a part of it. It's a part of life. So I'm gonna just continue on doing it, and yeah, let's get it. Let's go together. If you're going through something like this, and you know everybody, because I know that I'm not the only person that's going through something similar. You know, we're just all trying to figure it out, and but we're gonna get it together. We're gonna keep rocking, and you know, heading into the gym now. But like I said, I'm taking that pressure off myself. It's not about the time spent in the gym. It's not about how hard I worked. You know, I know that goes contradictory to most people's workout routine, but this is for me. You know, you gotta do what's right for you. There is gonna be hard days. There's gonna be days where you gotta go hard in the gym, and then there's recovery days. There's active recovery days. There's days where, you know, you just gotta be in there. Like I remember just showing up to the gym was enough, and that's not to say like I know I'm on a different level now. I know, you know, 4, 5, 6 years in the gym, you know, I'm past that. But I used to be very, very unhealthy and very unfit, and just showing up to the gym was a win for me. Just continue on marathon training, continue on grinding, and you know, we're building endurance company, and I think that there's a lot of lessons that's to be learned, because life is an endurance race. It's not just about the times where you lace those shoes up and, you know, hop on the trail, hop on the road, you know, hop and go, you know, put your gear on and go in the gym. It's like every second that you're alive, you're in an endurance race, and you're trying to get the best nutrition. You're trying to find the best way to recover, get some sleep, and put yourself in the best position to win. So that's what we're going to keep and continue on doing. So let's do this. Let's do this thing.